Good morning. I'm Adriano. I'm the co-founder and the president of the European Startup Association. This is our second interview to our investors. If you missed the first one, yeah, it's a shame, but anyway, you can find it on our social media pages. Today, I'm with Angel Hristov, whom I was lucky to meet in September during the last edition of the European Startup Festival in Malmo. And hi, Angel, how do you do?
I'm quite well, thank you, Adriano.
Thank you to be here with us. We would like to get the most value we can from your experiences as an investor. So please, first of all, might you introduce yourself and your target investments?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, my name is Angel, and I'm the managing partner of Dynex Invest. And I'm also in the investment manager at Innovation Accelerator. That is the newest fund in Bulgaria. And my expertise is in venture capital. I've been doing that for about 8 years. Before venture capital sector, my previous experience was in mergers and acquisitions and in general in finance. So in the past 8 years, as I mentioned, I've been particularly dealing with early stage companies for investments ranging between 25,000 up to 50 million. So quite a variety there. For the past 4 years, I've been running Dynex Invest, which is an investment and advisory company focusing on early stage startups in their seeds to Series A fundraising processes in which we participate either as an advisor or as an investor, not as a lead investor, as a follow-on investor.
Cool.
The startups are based in Southeast Asia and Europe, so quite an international outreach. And regarding the newest funds that we just started, Innovation Accelerator Bulgaria, this is a venture that will invest in pre-seed to seed stage local startups, or maybe Eastern European startups, with a focus on pre-seed stage companies that we can help out with 25,000 to 50,000 investment tickets, and also we can co-invest with other investors in seed rounds up to 1 million cash.
Okay, cool. Thank you. What are some of the key common characteristics of your favorite portfolio companies?
The characteristics of the portfolio companies we're working with are scalability, number one. We're particularly interested into working with companies in the long term. So the usual way that we operate is to have a goal to work with a company from 3 to 7 years. The international aspect of the product, usually those are product-based companies. The international aspect is also very important. In terms of business models, we prefer B2B, SaaS, and marketplaces, although we're quite sector and business model agnostic, so we can be more generalist in this stage.
Cool. And on the other hand, can you give us a view about what are the most challenging aspects of your least favorite investments and what can be done to address them?
Right. Well, some of my entire portfolio, so to speak. I could mention one particular example with a company that we wanted to invest in August. The problem with that investment was that, and we couldn't make it, was that we still didn't have the fund set up. We were discussing and negotiating the deal. It was in transport and logistics, very hot sector. The e-scooter movements, which is quite well known now in Europe, and quite hot as a topic. But we had a local company that wanted to be a competitor to Lime and Bird. unfortunately, we couldn't back it up because our fund was not set up at that stage, and they had to move on into the deal closing because the season is basically ending, so they didn't want to miss another year. Also, we had some problems with the valuation discussions. They were expecting too high of a value for their company, and so we wouldn't be so risk averse in this space. So we offered them a lower number. So overall, it was a bad handling on our part, and the note taken for us is to start discussing once we're fully ready with our commitments, and we know our structure of reviewing the deal much closer, and in general be more prepared when we discuss valuations.
Okay, so you didn't mention the name of the company, but
It's okay. I can share it. It's cool.
We have a lot of information about it.
Yeah. It's called Hobo Electric, and we're still considering them maybe for the second round, but then the valuation will be much higher. So perhaps our involvement will not be as a lead investor. More likely, it will be a follow-on investment.
Okay, cool. So, and which are the clauses that you usually include in the shareholders agreement, and why? For example, some particular governance clauses, or obviously tag and drag along and lockup clauses, but what are the main clauses that you focus on?
Yeah, of course. We were no strangers to the general venture capital industry, so we don't stay too much away from the industry standards there. Of course, tag along, drag along, some non-liquidation, liquidation preferences, and anti-dilution clauses that we have. But what is really interesting, and you might be curious to understand about our specifications about the term sheets that we offer, is that we also monitor KPIs, and we have the option, if those KPIs deviate too much from what has been in the business plan, then we have the option to withdraw our investment, or just liquidate our investments, depending on if the money are still available or they have been spent by the company. So that is very particular clause that we include in the term sheet, and usually the business plan becomes part of the investment agreement as an appendix.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, very good information. I hope to see you in a few months, and we are looking for the new location for the European Startup Festival for the next year, 2020. Maybe we can get in touch to visit Sofia. I think that it's a growing economy. Can you tell us a little more about Sofia?
Sure. Sofia has been a booming startup place. The startup or the VC ecosystem is quite new. I could say that basically 10 years ago there was no ecosystem at all. Since 2012 and 13, there have been 4 active funds that are European backed and government backed. So those funds basically created the ecosystem, and 7 or 8 years down the road, we have about 2,000 companies, startup companies. Very good aspect of the Bulgarian and also of the Sofia economies, that we have abundant talent of tech developers coming from big corporations and also from other startup ventures. So we have a large number of developers that can become entrepreneurs or potentially startup founders. So that is a very good aspect on behalf of Sofia, and also, of course, the costs to market rates is quite affordable, I would say. The nightlife is great, so even for expats, I think it's a very attractive place. So
Yeah.
feel free to come over, and I'll try to make a tour for you and show you the local ecosystem players.
Well, and what are the most important industries now in Sofia, in Bulgaria?
I would put the IT sector as one of the top. Of course, it's lagging behind the heavy industry or the services sector, like the general services sector. But I think outsourcing industry is also very big. That's why we have a lot of people with foreign languages and with good technical expertise. So we have a lot of international companies trying to open up their shared services centers, which is also a source for potential entrepreneurs and startup founders in the future. So our goal is to get them out of the corporate world and attract them in the interesting startup world.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Angel. Hope to see you soon. And yeah, let's keep in touch as soon as possible.
Feel free to let me know when you're heading down to Sofia, and I'll try to take you around.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Ciao. Bye bye.
Ciao.